Hello, everyone. It's good to see you. So, thank you for joining me for life lesson number 12. You better journal because who else is going to remind you? Respect when God speaks. Write it down so you won't forget. I'm going to say that one more time. You better journal because who else is going to remind you? Respect when God speaks. Write it down so you won't forget. Let me tell you, if you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of journals. I have several journals. Matter of fact, I even created a journal because I wrote my first book based off of journal writing because I got a lot of messages, from those journals regarding discovering my purpose. That's how I wrote my first book. But then let me just say this, even today, we're going into 2022 and sometimes, I had to look back on previous journal writings to see where I came from. What did God say, during those times? I still have my 2017 journal out right now and even 2016, because there was some things that was said during those times that I need to move forward on, And so that's kind of like keeping that vision in front of you. But how are you going to remember? How are you going to remember your dreams? Some people say, oh, I don't dream. Well, maybe you do dream and you're just not respecting the dream by writing it down. And you might not have the full revelation of the dream, or you might not have the full dream. But I promise you, when you start writing it down, sometimes it comes to your memory regarding what's next or what happened in that dream. So I just want to say, respect when God speaks, because when he speaks, don't just oh my gosh, God spoke, that was awesome, and write it on a little piece of napkin. I mean, depending on where you are, you might have to write it on a napkin or put it in your phone, but put it in a place, just have a central location, because I'm telling you, it will bless you later. Because sometimes you might forget the details. Let me tell you, I've been believing God for several things, and one of those things is a retreat center, right? And he's been showing me different things each year, you guys. And I keep on looking back, and it helps me stay encouraged, because I'm because sometimes when you forget certain things, you be like, oh my gosh, I'm not progressing. Oh my goodness, well, maybe it's not going to happen, But when you start seeing, if you wrote it down, if you started writing your journey and you saw those different things, you'd be like, oh, it would give you motivation. And be like, oh, okay, I need to move next. Okay, this is what I need to do next, So I'm telling you, life lesson 12 was a blessing to me. And I always tell people, every time I come across anyone, I always say, please journal. I tell my husband, please journal. And he even told me now, he's like, I see the benefits of journaling. I'm like, see, I told you. Because it's also a release. You release something, because sometimes we hold too much in, okay? All right, I hope you're blessed by life lesson number 12, which is you better journal, because who else is going to remind you? Respect when God speaks. Write it down so you won't forget. If you have been, missing out on the previous lessons, this is life lesson number 12. So you can find the other lessons on Instagram and Facebook at Drolana. And you can meet me here again tomorrow for life lesson number 13. All right. See you later.